The public accounts have collapsed, exposing a deeply coordinated paper trail across regional networks. What began as isolated data anomalies has solidified into a systematic compromise of institutional transparency. In this third act of the Islamabad leaks, we peel back the administrative layers to trace the exact deployment of unaccounted assets, hidden communication logs, and verified operational interference. The evidence points to a deliberate framework designed to shift policy mechanisms behind closed doors. We begin our investigation at the source of the initial security rupture. This is Part 1. The true fate of global energy security is rarely decided in public assemblies or televised press briefings. It is negotiated in the shadows, recorded on secure servers, and sometimes completely exposed to the world. Welcome to Act 3, the Islamabad Leaks. In mid-2026, an unprecedented intelligence breach fundamentally shattered the delicate facade of Middle Eastern diplomacy. A massive cache of highly classified diplomatic communications, intercepted from the networks of Pakistan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, suddenly surfaced in the public domain, exposing a web of secret, backdoor channels that the White House and Tehran desperately hoped would remain buried. The leaked cables lay bare a highly sensitive parallel negotiation track managed out of the Pakistani capital. While the mainstream press was focused entirely on public threats and escalating military postures, the incoming Trump administration's transition team was utilizing Pakistani intelligence channels to quietly broker a high-stakes operational compromise directly with Iranian state actors. The core objective of these clandestine sessions was to engineer a secret protocol for the Strait of Hormuz, an arrangement that went far beyond the compromised terms of the public 60-day Memorandum of Understanding. The raw intelligence reveals an astonishing level of geopolitical pragmatism behind closed doors. The documents contain detailed transcripts of high-level meetings between regional mediators and Iranian envoys, laying out an asymmetric trade-off. Washington would offer unpublicized backchannel sanctions flexibility on regional commerce, provided Tehran implemented strict, verifiable constraints on its proxy drone operations along critical shipping corridors. For weeks, this parallel diplomacy successfully managed the friction on the water, keeping the global energy grid operational while both sides publicly maintained a stance of absolute ideological defiance. But the exposure of the Islamabad leaks has turned a managed diplomatic maneuver into an absolute crisis of trust. The unauthorized publication of these transcripts has stripped away the deniability required for backchannel statecraft. Allies and adversaries alike are suddenly staring at the unvarnished raw mechanics of global power projection, realizing that the public narrative of an unbridgeable conflict was a highly synchronized illusion. The secret agreements are out, the mediators have been compromised, and the fallout is about to ignite a firestorm that threatens to consume the entire regional architecture. Subscribe to Atlas GeoPulse. The briefing continues in Part 2. When secret diplomacy is dragged into the public square, the primary casualty is not the policy itself, but the deniability required to execute it. Following the exposure of the Islamabad leaks, the fragile backdoor channels connecting Washington and Tehran have suffered a cataclysmic collapse. The public exposure of these secret protocols forced an immediate, uncompromising retraction from the highest levels of American power. In a high-stakes White House cabinet meeting on May 27, 26, President Trump publicly drew an unyielding line, declaring to PBS News that the United States will offer absolutely zero sanctions relief or financial concessions to Tehran, even if the regime surrenders its highly enriched uranium stockpile. This public declaration has thrown a devastating wrench into the gears of regional mediation. Behind closed doors, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has continued to maintain that diplomatic progress is within reach, working intensively across multiple regional nodes. But Trump's absolute refusal to ease economic pressure has effectively stripped the negotiators of their primary currency. For the Iranian leadership, a framework that demands the total surrender of their nuclear leverage while offering zero economic relief is not a treaty. It is a demand for unconditional capitulation. The strategic trust engineered by Pakistani and regional backchannels has evaporated in a matter of hours. The immediate consequence of this diplomatic paralysis is a rapid, dangerous return to kinetic escalation on the ground. As the political track breaks down, the primary actors are moving swiftly to re-establish their leverage through raw military power. War Secretary Pete Hegseth has openly warned that the United States remains fully prepared to resume massive military action if ongoing negotiations fail to produce a result favored by the White House. The illusion of a managed, compartmentalized peace has officially dissolved. The Islamabad Leaks didn't just expose a secret negotiation. They forced both global superpowers and regional actors to abandon their private pragmatism and retreat into their most aggressive public red lines. The back channels are dead, the political options are spent, and the primary actors are now preparing for a direct, unmitigated trial of strength. Subscribe to Atlas GeoPulse. The briefing continues in Part 3. When political backchannels freeze, the language of diplomacy is instantly replaced by the kinetics of asymmetric warfare. With the Islamabad leaks rendering secret negotiations politically toxic, the Iranian leadership has pivoted completely away from the bargaining table to unleash its most potent asymmetric option, its region-wide proxy network. Tehran's calculation is structural and highly deliberate. By activating its proxy nodes across Iraq, Syria, and the Gulf states, the regime aims to demonstrate a stark geopolitical reality that blocking their oil exports will extract an immediate, unpayable cost from the global economy. The tactical execution of this counteroffensive relies on a highly disruptive, low-cost doctrine. Rather than engaging in conventional fleet battles against advanced Western naval assets, proxy units are deploying waves of highly sophisticated, low-altitude one-way attack drones. This creates a critical vulnerability for traditional defense architectures. While the Western alliance invests billions in high-end, multi-layered air defense grids designed to intercept ballistic threats, clusters of low-flying unmanned aerial systems can systematically evade early warning sensors. They skim just above the terrain, weaponizing the geography of the region to strike critical infrastructure and logistics hubs with zero warning. This reality has fundamentally transformed the security equation for forward-deployed forces and commercial transit lanes alike. From Kuwait and Iraq down through the energy corridors of the UAE and Saudi Arabia, the sheer proliferation of these low-cost drone capabilities has outpaced traditional countermeasures. For military strategists, this is the proxy trap in its purest form. An adversary utilizing a $1,000 drone can successfully neutralize or bypass a multi-million-dollar interceptor missile, turning the mathematics of modern defense entirely on its head. As the proxy offensive intensifies, the regional architecture is rapidly approaching a systemic breaking point. The lines of communication are completely severed, the drones are airborne, and the illusion of a contained, isolated maritime dispute has been permanently shattered. The conflict is no longer confined to the waters of the Strait. It has evolved into a region-wide war of attrition where traditional military superiority is facing its ultimate technological challenge. Subscribe to Atlas GeoPulse. The briefing continues in Part 4. When asymmetric drone strikes begin paralyzing critical infrastructure, the boundary between proxy, gray zone friction, and total regional warfare completely evaporates. Following the destruction of the Islamabad backchannels, the Middle East has entered a rapid, uncontrollable escalation helix. No longer hiding behind deniable proxy networks, the primary actors are moving heavy conventional assets directly to the front lines. Western naval groups, spearheaded by advanced carrier strike forces, are consolidating their defensive postures inside the Gulf of Oman, establishing an unyielding perimeter designed to completely isolate the Iranian coast. The immediate trigger for the next phase of this crisis is a dramatic shift in Tehran's internal command structure. Realizing that their economic survival is completely choked off by the naval blockade, the hardline factions within the Islamic Republic have authorized a full tactical mobilization. Revolutionary Guard missile units have deployed highly advanced anti-ship ballistic arrays and supersonic cruise missiles along the jagged coastlines of the Musandam Peninsula. This places Western naval vessels and global commercial shipping directly within the crosshairs of a dense, multi-directional kill zone, turning the narrow waters of the strait into a tactical shooting gallery. For global defense analysts, this posture represents the ultimate endgame of deterrence failure. When both sides believe that retreat means absolute strategic defeat, every defensive movement is interpreted by the adversary as an imminent act of war. The United States has reinforced its forward air bases across the Gulf states, while War Secretary Pete Hegseth has reiterated that American forces are fully locked, loaded, and prepared to execute overwhelming kinetic strikes against internal Iranian infrastructure if the regime attempts to close the shipping lanes. The tragic reality of the escalation helix is that the mechanism of conflict has outpaced the speed of human decision-making. Automated air defense systems, satellite tracking networks, and pre-delegated launch authority mean that a single technical miscalculation or an errant radar glitch on either side will instantly ignite a systemic conflagration. The diplomatic papers have turned to ash, the countdown has expired, and the fleets are staring at each other across a hair-trigger line in the sand. Subscribe to Atlas GeoPulse. The briefing concludes in the grand finale of Act 3. When the secret architecture of Backchannel statecraft is completely exposed and publicly disavowed, the resulting strategic vacuum cannot be filled by diplomacy. It can only be filled by an absolute, unmitigated trial of strength. The fallout from the Islamabad leaks has permanently shattered the illusion that this conflict could be quietly managed or neatly compartmentalized behind closed doors. With the transition team's parallel channels thoroughly compromised, both Washington and Tehran have completely abandoned their private pragmatism, retreating instead into their most volatile, uncompromising public red lines. The structural tragedy of this breakdown mirrors the classic dynamics of ancient systemic collapse. In the final phases of the Peloponnesian War, when the backdoor financial arrangements between Spartan commanders and Persian satraps were dragged into the light, the option for a conditional negotiated peace evaporated. The exposure forced the primary actors to escalate their kinetic commitments, transforming a series of localized gray zone skirmishes into an existential struggle for total regional dominance. Today, across the heavily fortified sea lanes of the Middle East, that exact ancient blueprint is playing out with terrifying digital precision. On the water, the time for signaling has officially expired. The United States has reinforced its forward air bases and locked its carrier strike groups into aggressive launch postures, while War Secretary Pete Hegseth has openly warned that the American military is fully prepared to execute overwhelming kinetic strikes against internal infrastructure if the shipping lanes are compromised. In response, Revolutionary Guard missile brigades have fully activated their anti-ship ballistic arrays along the Musandam Peninsula, creating a hair-trigger kill zone that places the global energy grid on the precipice of an uncalculable explosion. The ultimate takeaway of the Islamabad leaks is that deterrence failure is rarely a sudden accident. It is a slow, mathematical accumulation of incompatible timetables. When a rising network of parallel economies and proxy networks collides directly with an established ruling power's unyielding red lines, the space for compromise drops to absolute zero. The papers have burned, the backchannels are dead, and the silent code of the cyber dragnet is already executing. The fragile truce is officially over, and the true architecture of the new global disorder is about to be written in fire. Thank you for watching this Atlas GeoPulse investigative briefing. The grand strategy has unfolded, and the final line in the sand has been drawn. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us as we step directly into Act 4, the final reckoning. Thanks for watching. The operational data of the Islamabad leaks is fully exposed. The complete footprint concludes in our final briefing. Subscribe to Atlas GeoPulse now.